Okay, welcome to this revision video on surface area. Now in this video, I'm going to be doing 3 questions, so it's going to be a bit of a lengthy one. Sorry about that. You can obviously skip to the ones that you want to do. So this is a triangular prism, and then I've got a trapezoid prism, and then I have got a cylinder at the end. That one you might want to stick around for because that comes up quite a lot. Let's get on with the triangular prism. Let's first of all talk about what surface area means. Now, surface area means that I need to find the area of all the surfaces on the shape and then add them up. Now, a lot of students can't really see the bits that I'm actually coloring in. I don't know why, but sometimes students can't really see it. So I am coloring in the parts of the shape that you can't see. They are on the other side of the shape. And the rest of them you can see. Let's get to work. So I need to find the area of all the faces. Let's get the bottom one first because that one seems pretty straightforward and easy. So the area of the bottom, it's a rectangle, so it's just length times width. In this case, the length is 12 times 4, and that's going to be 48 centimeter square. All right, so that's the first one done. Now let's deal with the back of the shape. At the back here, we have another rectangle. That length here is going to be the same length as that because after all, this is a prism, and a prism means that this is my cross section, and all the way through I will have that same cross section. So that's going to be the same there. So in this case, I'm just going to put the 12 here, and so that's going to be 12 times 3. So the area of there, so area equal 12 times 3, that's going to be 36 centimeters square, and that's that bit done. Now the next bit that I'm going to work out would be this triangle on the side over there. Now the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. We can see that that's going to be the base, which is going to be the same as this base, which is going to be 4. So I can put that 4 in there. The perpendicular height of the triangle is going to be the same as this height here. So that's going to be 3. We never use this height here. That's just there to trick you. But anyway, here we go. So the base times height. So that's 3 times 4 divided by 2. That's 12 over 2, which is going to be 6 centimeters square. And funnily enough, this triangle over here is also 6 centimeters square. Why? Well, it's because it's a prism, which I've mentioned before. So whatever the area is on this triangle will be the same area on this one here. And the final part that we need to work out is this front face just there. Okay, so for that front face, all I'm going to need is another rectangle where I've got the length is 12 and the width is 5. So that's just going to be 12 times 5. It's going to be 60 centimeters square. And so therefore, the area then, or I should say the surface area, if you haven't worked that out, I need to add up all of the areas that I have worked out for this shape. Now, just for the sake of making sure I didn't leave anything out, I've highlighted all of the areas I need to add up. There are 5 of them. Double check you've got them all there. Plunk them in the calculator real quick, and that will give you 156 centimeter square. Okay, and that ends this question. Let's move on to the next one. So for my next question, I have got here a trapezoid prism. Now, they didn't tell me that it's a trapezoid prism. They just said it's a prism. But we know that prisms mean that you're going to have the same cross section. This is going to be my cross section here. This will come in handy when you're finding volume, okay? Now, I've got 3 sides that I can't see. So there's a side here, slanted side. And I've got a side on the back, which will be the same as this one on the front. Then I've got a side, and then I've got a bottom bit here. Same thing again. The cross section of shape is a tree. Oh, they did tell me. And then calculate the total surface area. Fantastic. Let's rock on. So I'm going to start this time at the top of the shape. Now at the top there, I have got a rectangle again. The length is 7 and the width is 7 and the length is 8. So that's just going to be 7 times 8, which is 56 centimeters square. And just like that, that one is done. So I'll highlight it now so I don't forget it when I'm ready to add it all up. Now on the side over here, I have got a width of 5 and a length of 8. And it's going to be exactly the same here because I can't see any extra measurement that says it's, well, I can see that that's 5, which means that this is 5. This is called an isosceles trapezium as well. So I should probably put a little mark there to say that it's an isosceles trapezium because those two sides are the same. And whatever you know about isosceles triangle will mostly be true here. Anyway, that's 5 and this is 8. So I can pretty much just do that and times it by 2. So area here is going to be 5 times 8, so that's going to be 40 centimeters square, which means that this side as well is also 40 centimeters square. Let's highlight those so that we don't forget them. So 40 and 40 there. That takes care of my two sides. Now the next job, let's deal with the bottom here. So for the bottom, I need to multiply 15 times 8. Let's write that in rather than just talk about it. So for the bottom here, 15 times 8. And 15 times 8 is 120 centimeters square. And that's the bottom done. And the only thing I haven't worked out as yet would be this trapezium here. Let's just put a little, let's highlight around it before it gets too crowded and people then can't see what's going on. So this is a trapezium here. Right, now that I've highlighted around it, let's go and find the area of a trapezium. Now the area of a trapezium is, you add the parallel sides up, then you times it by the height and then divide it by 2. Don't forget this is the perpendicular height. So let's identify the parallel sides. One of them's there, the other one is there, and those need to be added together. So that's going to be 7 add 15. You multiply by the perpendicular height, which is 6, and then you divide that by 2. Now 7 add 15, that's going to give me 22 times 6 divided by 2. And then I half that 22, I get 11 times 6, that's 66 centimeters square. And don't forget, I need to double that because there's another trapezium on the back here. So I'm going to say that also the back is going to be another 66 centimeters square. All right, fantastic. Let's highlight everything. So we're going to add that with that. I forgot to highlight my 120. Check that you have got all the sides sorted out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides, and I've got 6 things highlighted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. So I'll spare you the details of this and just work out the surface area. All right, so while you were away for only literally 1 second, I have worked out the surface area here by adding all of that up, which is going to be 388 centimeters square. And this question is finished. Let's do the last one because the video is getting a bit on the long side. So let's do the last one then. All right, so this is the last question where we've got a cylinder. And you might know, if you don't know, I'm telling you now, that a cylinder is also a prism because this is going to be your cross section at the top. And anywhere you cut, you're going to always get that circle. Let's see what we've got here. So they've given us the diameter of the circle, it's in centimeters, and they've given us the height of the cylinder in meters. I don't really like everything being, you know, sort of mixed up here. So let's see the question and then we'll decide which one we're going to keep. Always read the question. Let's see what they say. Diagram shows a cylindrical tank. The tank has a top and a bottom. 4 of these tanks are going to be painted. Each tank has a diameter of 50 and a height of 1.5 meters. Each pot of paint can cover 4 meters square. How many pots of paint you're going to need? So because we're working in meters, I'm going to need to change this up here to meters. And we've got 4 of these tanks. So let's just make sure we get all the information that we need straight out of this. I've got 4 tanks there. I know the dimensions of my tank. And the tank has a top and a bottom. This is important because obviously when you paint the tank, you have to paint the top and the bottom. All right, let's get to work. That's enough of that for now. Let's deal with that diameter. So the diameter is 0.5 meters, and which is important to know because you know that there's 100 centimeters that makes a meter. So change it to meters so that everything is all the same and we're good to go. Now to get the surface area, which you have to find, because obviously if you're going to cover the tank with paint, they're giving you the units in meters square, which is area. So you know you have to find the surface area. So I'm going to start with the area of the top. The top is a circle. Area of a circle is pi r square. Notice that they have given me the diameter and I want the radius. So half of that is going to be 0.25. So pi times 0.25 square. And at this point, I have got a very, very long decimal, but I'm going to take it to about 4 decimal places. So 0.1963 meters square. And that's the top done. Why do I take it to 4 decimal places? Because if you round it too soon, you're going to create a lot of rounding errors in your answer. Check the link popping out in the top right hand corner there of the screen to see why I talk about rounding. Now the bottom is also a circle, it's a cylinder, so it's going to have the same area as well, 0.1963 square meters there. Okay, now let's deal with this curved surface. Now if I take a massive scissors and I cut the tank straight down the middle there, what I'm going to end up with is a rectangle, which I am going to just quickly sketch out and hope that this app works. It does work perfect. So it's a rectangle. Now the length of this rectangle is the same as the circumference of the circle at the top there, and the circumference of the circle is pi d. So this is going to be pi times the diameter to get the length there, and the width of this rectangle is going to be the height here, so that's going to be 1.5 meters. Let's get to work. So just changing color slightly, this is going to be pi times 0.5 meters, and then I will just quickly work that out to be 1.571571. Again, keep quite a few decimal places because you don't want to create rounding errors in your answers. Okay, now the area of in here is going to be length times width. So I'm going to take that answer, 1.571, and I'm going to times that by 1.5, which is going to give me an answer of 2.356. So that's 2.35 and 6 there square meters. Okay, perfect. Now that I've got all that, I can now work out the total surface area of the tank. So surface area is going to be equal to, you add up everything together, so 2.356 at 2 lots of 0.1963, and then I'll spare you the details and just do it. And that gives us 2.7486 square meters. Now that is the surface area of one cylinder, but there are 4 cylinders. So I'm going to say 4 cylinders will be 2.7486 times by 4. So what's the total surface area of all of those? 10.99. And in this case, I'm going to keep my 10.99 square meters. Now we know that each pot of paint is going to cover 4 square meters. So all I'm going to need to do is says pots needed will be 10.99 divided by 4. Now when I divide that by 4, you already know that the answer is going to be some silly number. In this case, it's 748, sorry. Now you know that you can't go and buy 0.7 of a pot, so you're going to need 3 pots. And that brings us to the end of this very long video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe below for more content like this. I'll see you on the next one.